Good morning. Today we are going to talk about the Black Hand of the NRA. Or maybe we're going to talk about the Black Hand of Michael Bloomberg. Well, you'll have to keep watching to find out, because we're going to be comparing and analyzing lobbyist spending on the question of gun control in Vermont in 2018. Gun control groups have often railed against the so-called gun lobby, frequently calling them a terrorist organization and accusing them of sacrificing the lives of children for profit through gun sales, and of subverting democracy by buying politicians. For their part, gun rights advocates complain of big-spending national astroturfing coalitions funded by multi-billionaires and fawned over by the media. Vermont state law requires that lobbyist spending be reported to the state, and all of that information is publicly available on the Secretary of State's website. Using this resource, we can break down the lobbyist spending on the question of gun control. So let's look at the reported expenditures on lobbying during 2018 by each of the groups on both sides. There were 4 pro-gun rights groups that spent money on lobbying in Vermont in 2018. 2 others, the Vermont Federation of Sportsmen's Clubs and Gun Owners of Vermont, engaged in lobbying activities but will not be included in this analysis because they were all volunteer organizations and reported no lobbying expenditures. The organization that spent the most on lobbying on the pro-gun side was the National Shooting Sports Foundation, which spent $27,000. Next was the National Rifle Association, with lobbyist spending of $9,123, followed by the American Suppressor Association with $1,200, and finally the Congressional Sportsmen's Foundation, which spent $1,032. In all, pro-gun rights groups spent $38,356 on lobbying in Vermont in 2018. Of the 3 groups who spent money on the gun control side, the biggest spender was the national organization Every Town for Gun Safety, which spent $60,951 on lobbying, well over 1.5 times the amount spent by all the pro-gun rights groups combined. The next largest spender was the Giffords Law Center, with $25,703. Followed by Gun Sense Vermont with $12,475. In total, gun control groups spent $99,130 on lobbying in Vermont in 2018, outspending pro-gun groups by more than 258%. In addition to this, Every Town for Gun Safety also listed $13,000 in gifts. These were all apparently campaign contributions made in October of 2018. Spending trends for 2019 are shaping up much like previous years. So far, gun rights groups have reported expenditures of $16,978, while gun control groups have reported $50,500. But if claims are going to be made about the use of largesse to subvert democracy, it's important to put the spending on the passage of gun control laws into perspective. So let's look at some of the other spenders in 2018. Here we see the lobbyist spending of all of the pro-gun rights groups combined, which was only a few $100s more than the amount spent on lobbying by the city of Burlington. Moving higher from there, we find the Union of Vermont Educators, pro-gun control groups, Green Mountain Power, the pharmaceutical industry, banks, environmental action groups, the health insurance industry, the telecommunications industry, and far outpacing all of these, hospitals. These are only examples, and this is nothing like a complete listing of the large spenders in Vermont politics. For example, marijuana legalization groups spent over $76,000 in 2018, and Global Foundries spent over $95,000. Money may be playing a larger role in Vermont politics than many realize, but if anyone is buying the process, it certainly isn't the NRA, or even every gun rights group combined. When it comes to the idea that some out-of-state gun lobby has dictated Vermont's firearms policy, in the light of the evidence found on the Secretary of State's website, Vermonters can safely let that narrative fall into the realm of myth. And that's a good thing. And as always, it is morning in Vermont. Thank you and have a great day.